Yale goes tuition free for families making below $200,000 a year income. Yale University is going tuition free for undergraduates, families with incomes under $200,000. Following recent moves by peers, including Harvard University, to broaden access, enhanced financial aid will ensure that students from such families will receive need-based scholarship that meet or exceed the cost of tuition. Yale said in a statement Tuesday the changes will take effect into 2026-2027 academic year, will also eliminate all expected costs for families with typical assets and incomes below $100,000. Brandon, your thoughts?
I mean, it's about time, to be honest. Like, Yale has every benefit in the world at its favor. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe they're required to pay taxes or certain portions of taxes. Like, I'm from New Haven. It takes up the entire city. The entire city's decrepit because of Yale doesn't have to pay taxes to it. So, I mean, the crazy thing is that the vast majority of their money doesn't even come from the tuition. So you would think this would be something that would be floated a long time ago. But instead, you're racking people that their parents make $100,000 a year with $300,000 in debt. So, yeah, no, I think it's great. They still have problems with the way that they take on people. You know, they try to match up the demos to be proportionate with the demographics in society. So you get people of different races getting in with lower or higher GPA requirements. So I don't think that's great. I think that could be like a blindfold thing where you're not really looking at the gender or the race of somebody. You're still letting them in on merit. So a lot of things to complain about with Yale, but no, I think this is good. I still think, and I think there's more room for improvement too.
Tom?
So I have a little bit of a contrarian view on this. I'm a little skeptical because Harvard and Princeton did the same thing very, very recently. I was seeing numbers over the last 6 months that Yale, Harvard, Princeton, MIT were taking in a larger percent of foreign students from wealthy families around the world who could pay full boat, meaning full price for everything.
Sure.
That's number one. Number two, Yale was also lost lawsuit at the federal level on manipulating admissions and being having racial discrimination built into their intentional model. Mm-hmm. Some people would call it an algorithm. It was intentional. And it was Asian students and families it came from Asian Americans that said, hey, you know, we are being deprioritized and you're doing this wrong. It went all the way to the Supreme Court, Yale lost. And there's another suit that went up halfway and Yale won. But I think that there's a reaction happening in the Ivy League. And I think this is potentially window dressing compared to who is actually paying, because I don't think the Ivy Leagues anytime soon are going to stop the way they've been playing the game. There have been some suits, there have been some tripwires, but I don't think they're stopping. And I think this is a bit of PR compared to what we're seeing on the amount of people they're admitting and what they're paying.
Yeah, so it's interesting. If I want to be a devil's advocate and kind of ask the question about the 600,000 students that the president said is coming from China, and I think he was doing an interview with Laura Ingraham, which is like, we don't need 600,000. No, we do need it. We do need the 600,000. No, we don't. It's the 600,000 figure, Rob. Can you pull up to see when they're looking at those numbers coming through? Because if you do the math, what do you want to do the average number on it, Tom? 600,000 times what? Tuition per year.
Oh, I can tell you what it is right now. I'm all in at Rice at $90 a year.
Stop it, Tom.
Tuition and on-campus housing.
It's $90K a year. So what average do we want to take? If these 600,000 Chinese students are coming here over the next however many years, it starts the announcement was August of 2025. I don't know when it's going to start.
Ivy League average is 67,000, which they publish, but there's another 20 in there for the dorm plan.
But give me the average. Are they all going to go to Ivy, or are they going to go to different universities? It's not all Ivy, right? So take the average of all of it.
75.
You want to do 75? Damn.
But like,
yeah, it's probably still 60. I don't think you can go to the University of Michigan with the dorm plan in Michigan for less than 60.
If you take 600,000 at $50K, do you know how much it is per year to universities? $30 billion in revenue.
With a B.
If it's 75K, it's $45 billion in revenue per year. Then do that times 4. That's $300 billion going into the college system. So do you think devil's advocate, saying you sue these schools, you publicly put them in their place, stop doing this BS, ESG, DEI crap that you're doing, stop playing these games you got going on here, get back to education. I don't want to do this woke stuff anymore. And guess what? Pay the fees, pay the fines on the back end. I'm going to bring you $300 billion over the next 5 to 10 years.
Well,
Tom, do you know what I'm saying?
Yep, I do.
So that could. So you're saying that could be the play. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm diluted because $300 billion just doesn't feel like a lot anymore because that's like one Ukraine payment.
But not. It's not a lot of money to you. It's not a lot of money to the government. It's a lot of money going to universities.
Is it though? I mean, split up by all the universities.
Like, what percentage of it's going to go to the top universities?
Probably at least 50% of the top.
I don't know if it's going to be 50%, but let's say 20%.
Okay.
What's 20% of $300 billion? $60 billion.
Yeah, $60 billion.
Still a lot of money.
Yeah.
$60 billion is still a lot of money over the next few years.
Enough to change your entire initiative, though.
I don't know if it's an entire initiative. You have to realize the part when I watch where Trump is at with bringing talent in from other places. Like, he put all these restrictions of where people can come from, but he didn't put it on people that are coming from India. Why not?
Want to be friends with India.
Do you want to be friends with India? Or do you want to make sure your big AI technology companies that rely on those engineers coming from IIT, you need that? It is a very technical, sensitive, complicated topic that has people on the same side of the aisle fighting each other on this one topic.
Yeah,
make sense?
That's a good point.
And I don't know what's going to happen with it. I don't know the ideas behind it. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, I think the value of a higher education is dropping. And I think that's what you see as a result. They have to lower their price. People aren't valuing the education as much as they used to. Before it was you had to go here, and if you're going to go there, you go to these Ivy League schools. Well, people realize you do not need a degree anymore to be successful, period. And so they have no choice but to lower their fees. Then they turn it into a PR stunt to act like they're finally trying to help people. They're not trying to help anybody, or they'd change the curriculum, not the pricing. And not only that, I think the government should provide education for free if we really wanted to empower our country. Education should be free for qualified individuals, period. And I don't care where you go. Like, it should just be free. I want to produce badass individuals. And we're quick to give out money, and then people stand in line at Louis Vuitton. During COVID, like these stores, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, there was lines around the block for people wanting in there. It was ridiculous. So I think Yale and Harvard and any other Ivy League school that is, making a claim that they're starting to try and help those less fortunate, I think that's nonsense. I think it's PR, and I think they realize their value is dropping.
Harvard's
do you know the program Florida has? What is it called, Tom? Bright Future?
Oh, Bright Future, state of Florida.
Yeah. Can you unpack that to Brad on how Florida works?
So in the state of Florida, if you've lived here for a certain number of years, and your child has a 3.0, 3.2, probably 3.5, and you've been paying property taxes, income taxes, license plate taxes, thank you very much for raising a great child, Brad. You can go to school for free. University of Florida, Florida State, FIU, UCF, any of the schools that state tax dollars go to support under the Bright Futures program, because you've lived here in Florida and you've raised an exemplary student, your education's free for that child.
That's pretty impressive.
It's called the Bright Futures program in Florida.
Yeah, I think it's like a 3.5 GPA and a 1350 SATs. Some number is okay. There it is. What does it say? 16 high school credits with a 3.5 weighted GPA. Weighted GPA.
And there's different levels. Academic Scholar, Medallion Scholar covers 75%. But here, there's your rate card. How good did your kid do? The discount starts at 50% and goes up.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's not bad.
What does this make you think? Like, how do you process this information for a guy that lives in Nevada?
Well, I would say, that's why I think Florida's residency is increasing, because, some good policies here. I think it's, again, at the end of the day, a result of everything that's going on. The academic route is no longer necessary to succeed. So again, it's still nice. It's still a checkbox. Your parents still want you to go. But I think if you're going to go to college and pursue a degree, it's either you need it to do the job, or you should really get the value out of it by networking and building relationships. Because at the end of the day, the relationship is more valuable than the education.
You're not wrong. I agree. Listen, I'm 47 years old and I've done okay in business. And my Middle Eastern family still says, but you don't have a college degree. but you know, Mary got a college degree. But you know, Jack got a college degree. When are you going to get your degree? I said, Mom, I'm still trying to figure life out, trying to see if this business stuff's going to work out or not. But maybe one day I'll get my act together in my 80s and get a college degree. Who knows, Brad? I got to get serious about life is what I need to do.
By the way, all kidding aside, if I was governor, I'd do one more thing here, and I would take out 80% of the liberal arts classes, and I would replace it with trade school.
I love that idea.
So you could go to
I love that idea.
You want to go? Guess what? And by the way,
I would paying for liberal arts degrees.
And this is what I would do.
Yeah, that's
here. You can go learn about heating, air conditioning, and that on the trade side, and take business courses also here at the University of Florida, and go out and start that business and serve the people of Florida the rest of your life.
That's a good point.
And by the way, you have 2 trucks today, and if you do it right, pretty
Tom,
soon,
I want to do
son,
2 more
you'll have
stories,
10
Tom.
trucks.
I love it. Great idea. Were you going to say something?
I would just call your parents and tell them how many degrees you now have.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I would say I dropped out of high school. Now I've got several PhDs, several MBAs. They're like, how'd you do it? I just hired them.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you don't need a degree if you can hire them.
Yeah. It's great. No, listen, that train left a long time ago for me when I wanted to be a firefighter. And I went to the firefighter, place that we had in Granada Hills. And I said, I want to be fired. They said, there's a 5-year freeze. So, well, listen, it's $52,000 a year. It says, there's a 5-year freeze. And I went and sold insurance. By the time I got accepted to go be a firefighter, I was already making $100+ a year. I said, listen, I don't want to be a firefighter. I'm going to be an insurance guy. Obviously,
do any of the firefighters need life insurance?
I would have been a firefighter, Tom. 30 years walking around in L.A.
That's right.
And driving around on my, working the shifts that they have, which, by the way, to anybody that's a firefighter out there, I have tremendous respect for your job. You are very important to any society. It's a very hard job. The stories you see about how many people that get injured or hurt. And if you want to know what movie made me want to be a firefighter, can you guess what my age? The movie was?
Backdraft.
Backdraft. That's right. That was the movie. All right. Folks, once a year, we host an event called the Sales Leadership Summit. That event is coming up in the next 2 months. It'll be in South Florida at Trump Doral. And it's for those of you that run a business, because sales is king. Most people don't understand the power of developing sales leaders that develop sales people. This video will break down what's happening at SLS, and hopefully those of you guys that are doing $1 million+, you'll get a chance to get a ticket for yourself. Go ahead, Rob, play the clip. So many years ago, I realized the size of your income, your net worth, your lifestyle is a pure reflection of the size of problems you solve. So for me, going back 20-some years ago, I was a good salesperson. I learned how to sell. I knew if I ran 3-4 appointments a day, I could sell 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 insurance policies on a given day. Then I asked myself, how do I sell 50 in a day? How do I sell 100 in a day? There's no way I can do it by myself. I had to solve a big problem and go from being a salesperson to being a sales leader. By the way, it is very different being a salesperson than being a sales leader. That's a massive problem to try to solve. What happened later on? I went from selling 2 to 3 policies a day personally to eventually we sold 1 million insurance policies with our company, and we sold that company for $250 million. 3 years ago, licensing 60,000 insurance agents. We solved a massive problem, got paid massively. Let me bring it back to you. In America today, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, we have 13.4 million salespeople in America that go out selling every day working for commission. We have 132,000 VP of sales, according to LinkedIn, and we have roughly 8,000 chief sales officers in America. Now, when it comes down to putting the hat on of being a sales leader, it's a very different accountability, tough conversations, challenging, transferring your knowledge on how to get referrals, how to follow up on leads, how to properly follow up where you don't offend the person, the script you use when you DM versus when you email, which is when you make a phone call, how to give better presentations, the types of phone calls to make, the types of contests to run, how to hold them accountable and drive them and not upset them and they still want to come. How do you steer competition? All of this are things companies that solve big problems that become multi-billion-dollar companies do. So once a year, I host a conference called a Sales Leadership Summit. This happens once a year. To attend this, you need to do a minimum of $1 million a year
and have 5 salespeople that report to you. If you want to join us at this year's Sales Leadership Summit that happens end of March, we'll go through a 200-page manual together on how to go through A through Z of being a great sales leader. Click on a link below, fill out the information. One of our representatives from David Consulting will reach out to you and tell you more about the Sales Leadership Summit.
Rob, what is the website to go to this? Do we have it in the link?
We do. It's in the description. It's also in pinned to the chat. But
can you click on a link just to see what it looks like so everybody sees it? So go, if that's you, click on a link. We'll spend 2 days together at Trump Doral, and we go through A through Z, and it's a great place to network with other performers that are also doing well. There you have it. So what's the website called, Rob?
sls.betdavidconsulting.com.
Beautiful. All right, fantastic. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.